That's the beauty of the like things like TV shows, right? Is that they're amplified versions of one type of person.
Right.
And I don't think anyone in the world is like that. I think more people are pieces of each and bigger pieces of some, but a little bit of everyone. And that's really hard to exist with on a day-to-day basis.
On this episode of In Session at JackRabbit SoundShack, we sit down with Torino Black, talk about themes in songwriting, the natural progression of their musical style, and we pull apart their song Lady.
I'm David Biggs.
And I'm Vance Van Donselar.
We are Torino Black, and we are now in session at JackRabbit SoundShack.
This song is called Lady by Torino Black.
Take me in, tell me everything you know. I wanna know, 'cause I'm not here, and I'm not there. Where do I go? I wanna know. Just a body flowing down the river.
I first heard of Torino Black from a gig flyer in downtown Austin. Vance and I were scouting bands to bring on for our second season, and I saw that they were set to play a show with rock band Fair City Fire, who we featured in our first season. I found their debut EP, Food for a Therapist, online and was immediately sold. So we reached out to the band, invited them onto the show, and sat down to find out who is Torino Black.
So we've got Saul, who is from Valencia, Spain, who has Spanish influences. We've got
have a Spanish
Cece,
accent.
who's kind of from Texas, but her family's from Venezuela. So they kind of lay down the, there's a little bit of like a Latin influence in the rhythms of the songs. You don't necessarily come straight out. Cruz is an excellent technical guitar player. He can't beat it tonight because I think his teeth fell out. But he's doing something with his teeth. I don't remember what it is.
We'll explain.
I am, my name is Jared. I play the bass, and I'm kind of rooted in really all Texas music. So I listen to Spoon, Old 97s. I try to bring like all that old Texas sound into it, and it kind of all comes together. And they usually write the songs, and it comes together where Cruz adds something technical, I'll add something that is interesting but familiar, and that's kind of what the band does well. It's, you've never heard it before, but it's a little bit familiar to you. But there's definitely a fine line between influences and trying to cop something.
Right.
And this band doesn't do the I'm trying to cop something. Right. So you'll hear a little bit of Queens of the Stone Age. You'll hear a little bit of AC/DC. You'll hear a little bit of pop in there. You'll hear a little bit, but it's not like, oh, that lick's from AC/DC or that lick's from Queens of the Stone Age. It's like, oh, that's that kind of vibe, and they're taking that idea and that influence and putting it together into something new that is fun to listen to, but is new and familiar at the same time.
We, Saul and I've been doing this for like 4, almost 5 years, maybe.
Maybe 5, yeah.
And we've been writing and composing together, everything. And because the way the hustle of the city is, we've had several different bassists and drummers along the way. And life takes everyone in different places, and they've got to go. But it's our baby, you know. So we just keep trying to find the right fit. And we found Cruz first, and he's been with us for like 3.5 years. And honestly, the stability came with the band members, and them sticking around longer is where the kind of flow of being able to create new music felt more comfortable. Because I think there was this lull for us, and not in that we couldn't put it out, because we were writing. We had tons of new songs, but it's like we didn't want to forge that path or whatever of new material without knowing that we've got a team in place, because the vision is a little bigger than just like, let's write our songs and anyone can come in and out. I wasn't trying to be, you know, this and the team, you know, and he wasn't trying to do that either. This was a band effort. This is a band vision with our compositions and lyrics. That's the point of it. We wanted a team. We wanted a band. And once Jared came on and Cruz came on, that kind of laid the groundwork and in my head at least, the comfort zone of being like, okay, because it's personal, right? Your music is personal. The amount of time and effort and money and everything we put into it is personal. So finding that kind of comfort in underlying in the back of my head, I was like, okay. And all of a sudden I just wanted to play, wanted to write, wanted to, you know, make bigger efforts to get us further to a place where I think we belong. Saul worked as a producer here as well and co-produced a record of a guy from Austin who went on tour in Spain, asked him if he was going to be over there, and he wasn't going to be. I was already working over there, which is a wine chemist. I was a street musician at the time. And Saul randomly broke his leg here in Austin.
South by Southwest.
At South by. and had to go to Spain to get it fixed. And so it was a coincidence that friend that he co-produced is a friend of mine from college. So we played the same festival and got to know each other over there. And then when I had moved to Austin for my sister, who wanted to go to college and was younger, so asked me to come and be with her for a bit. It was one of the only people I knew. We had stayed good friends, so I reached out and we just started playing music together.
Well, I can vouch that during my interview at Cherrywood Coffee House, that
it was a Cherrywood.
Yeah.
Was it an interview, not an audition?
Oh, it was an interview.
It was an interview.
It was an interview.
Did we have an interview?
I need to know the person before I need to hear the way they
I
play.
nailed it though. I mean, I nailed it.
I don't remember.
She did mention
I
we
don't
want
remember
someone
that.
who's a musician who's going to
I'm
be good to hang out with and not just be like a gun for hire bass player.
Because we had that, and that was also just not for us.
Right.
It was just not for us.
It's,
We like to have people over, and
we
then
have so many songs, and every time someone leaves, and I understand, you know, new job, new opportunities, you move from Austin, whatever, you need to relearn every song again. And that's actually what I do to teach the guys. So it was like, okay, so we need to make a real band, tight people working together. And that will be the first thing to do after the EP, after the release of the first EP. And I think we did it. And now we're ready. Now we have that team to go through the next one and the third one, because we have so many songs, but we need to have that muscle working. And that's
the whole
Before,
time it's
imagine-
been us two. Torino Black is supposed to be Torino Black. It was no acoustic project or anything like that. When we started playing,
Starting
it was just us two and a drummer.
13. So it's what, 2018? So it's going to be 5 years.
Yeah,
5 years.
I guess that's when it like
5 years
started.
in October, I believe it's going to be. So we start playing together.
Yeah,
The first show we played was drummer,
drummer and
Matt
us two.
Bongiorno.
Matt Bongiorno.
I love that
I
guy.
love that guy.
You, myself,
Yeah,
like the
at Stomping Grounds before they got shut down.
Like,
That was our
okay,
first
let's
gig.
play that show. That was really good. And then from there, we were getting more shows and bigger shows, and we started having a lot of drummers, a lot of bassists, and
And we've
Yeah.
been incredibly grateful for each of them. There's no malice
Oh, yeah.
in anywhere. It was just opportunities in life, and people go
we
different
recorded-
places. That's completely it.
we have mainly two drummers. To be, and I want to tell you, Adrian was a drummer that Adrian is from Argentina. We toured with him in Spain, in Italy,
In France.
because he lives in France, because he lives in Spain. He's a good friend of mine, and then we played together in another projects, another bands before this one. He was with us like 2 years recording and playing, and Cruz was before Adrian and after, and that's mainly the two guys I want to talk about. And
Yeah, Cruz weaved in and out also because one of our markets that we focus on is being able to play in Europe and in Spain specifically because he's from there. We ended up getting a really great support and following over there, and appreciate the radios and the play that we've gotten over there. So when we toured, the bassist and the drummer that we toured with are over there already, and they also. The drummer would come here for 3 months at a time and play with us for like South by and other festivals. And so he and Cruz would weave in and out, but it was completely, like I said, no malice. It was really fluid and natural and organic.
This song is Cigarettes by Torino Black.
In your eyes, I found a map in a flower painted black, all black. You were going nowhere, you were going nowhere and never coming back. You left the flower on your heart back.
While researching Torino Black, we discovered that Torino Black is all about progression regarding their music. The band had undergone several band member changes since its inception, all of which the band took in stride. Changes like these can sometimes spark new inspiration and style within a band. So we wanted to find out, from their first EP to their latest music, how has the music progressed?
I think the beginning, and especially in Food for a Therapist, was a tangle between still writing on my own and alone, which you end up getting a lot of more like instrumental and acoustic parts in that first record, and then you'll end up seeing songs like Fire and Oh, and that's kind of the marriage. Yeah, I think there was a lot of duality in that one of style.
I think, sorry.
And in the ones moving forward, I think there was more just excitement about certain songs, and that it got like under our skin to play a certain style together. Where we're alone and on our own, we play a ton of songs that are more similar to the first record. But I think the songs moving forward are closer to Oh and Fire. Like it fit us better. It was like one of those. It's like when you find a really good pen, and you're like, I'm going to use this pen because it's an awesome pen. That's literally kind of where that took me. It's like playing Oh and Fire with the band felt so good that I was like, why write any other style? I'm just going to wear this pen for a little bit. There's no rule. I'm not like trying to stay only in one style. Like I'm going to lose some fan. You know what I mean? Like that's not it. It just feels really good to write these songs right now, and that's what's coming out since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's been almost 5 years from the beginning till now, till today. A lot of songs, just one EP, and then since then we tried to put a band together. And I remember the first album, Hello, Warehouse, Working Man. We worked on those songs together, and those were I was trying to focus on what we were like feeling comfortable of, like an acoustic kind of more melodic style, like approaching her vocals like open with air, and maybe more that kind of style. And then after 3 years, I'm playing those songs. We bring those songs to the live. Live was a little bit more like fast and aggressive. And from there, the evolution went to maybe those new songs, Mama, On My Turn, when we were like, whoa, that sounds good. So why don't to bring that to the next level, crank it out a little bit, bring songs to 165, 170, and be fast and see what happens. And then, bang, we loved it. We love to play those songs. That's probably why we're playing those songs now live. We connect to people more, we dance better. I mean, we have a lot of fun. And that's a good thing.
Like have a good time.
Maybe next album will be like medium tempos, kind of less aggressive, maybe.
I don't think
but that's the evolution I think you're talking about.
I haven't heard an acoustic guitar on any of the songs. There's not
the new
guitar
ones
anywhere, is there?
The new album has every song has an acoustic.
It does?
Oh,
It does. In the first album, yeah, both, but no.
No, he's talking about the new record.
No, we moved on from the acoustic guitar to just electric.
There's no acoustic guitar.
More energy, let's say.
More energy, and I think it's more energy, but there's more. I think there's.
We might come back to the.
I think there's also more texture with it, though. There's more interesting sounds, more interesting melodies happening in the newer stuff.
In the new record?
I think so. Cool. Even though it's louder, and there's a lot more stuff happening.
Could be.
I don't know. I think a lot of musicians. You guys are musicians too, so I think you can relate to the record and the songs that you just kind of like need to shake off of you.
That was mentioned.
They need to come out, and that's what Food for a Therapist felt like with some of the songs.
I was gonna mention Sam.
Yes needed to be on a record.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No.
Sam is our friend. He's an amazing keyboard player, and he played on the songs we're gonna release the next album, the next EP or album, whatever it is.
Sammy P on the keys. He plays with Eric Decimer. You can give him a plug. Why not?
He plays in so many
Sammy P on the keys plays with
bands.
Western Youth,
so
Eric
talented.
Tasimer, Black Joe Lewis.
Yeah, so good. And he brought that energy, right? And everything went fit right. I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
The only instrumentation, the new one for now is Sam actually.
We got Sam.
It's like playing Hammond. Is playing the electric, the
Yeah, but you're putting Moog
Other
sounds in there, and you're
There's
putting
Moog,
different.
there's Hammond, there's what's the other thing that Sam plays?
I try to remember now. The electric piano.
No, what is it called though? Not the Hammond, the
Rhodes.
Rhodes. Electric.
Rhodes.
Thank you.
Mostly keys. Well, let's say.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the synthesizers. I like them a lot. I like to use them at the end of everything to glue the bass with the guitars. Yeah, we got one, and it's like a little toy that I have at home, and I love to mess with it. And especially with it's every song. It's in every song, but I like on Working Man, how it's even my vocals that I was singing, I replaced them with the Moog. Mm-hmm. No one could tell that it was not my vocals, but the Moog, because it's so cool that you can blend it so well that it was like the same kind of wave of vocal under her vocals, and you can obviously you can double no matter what you want, and that, I don't know. I love the Moog, and I guess I'm gonna keep using it for the next albums. Maybe not. I don't know, awesome. Because now that we have the Hammond and the Rhodes, maybe it would be too much. And the trumpet on the first album was like something I wanted really to get. You know, I see this song with a trumpet, a Spanish influence kind of. And Shane is a friend of us, and he played that part of that song. It was beautiful. And actually yesterday we were talking about like bringing the trumpet again. So,
like we had said prior, we have so many songs that we had not released but continued to write. Sure. And so now we're dancing between putting out a shorter record or putting out the long one, just trying to figure out purely almost completely off of figuring out what the market is doing, right? Is it worth our time or worth our while to put out 2 EPs in shorter periods of time,
even 3
or 3 EP, you know what I mean, in a spurt of 3 months at a time? Or is it better with the way the vision of the market's going to put on 1 LP just because, you know, how do you say con los huevos? Like
with the 2 balls.
With 2 balls. The wrong term. Like it's to say with like, you know what, fuck it. We're just gonna do this because the concept of the album might have be a longer record.
Thank you for listening to In Session at JackRabbit SoundShack. We wanted to remind you that if you like what you hear, please subscribe to our show.
And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an artist. Okay, now on with the show. This is Mama by Torino Black.
The goods are good for me.
Having now heard Torino Black through a previous record and now again in studio with newer music, we started to notice that all of the songs written within those two snapshots in time carried with them a similar feel within their own time period. They all sounded unique and original, but as if each song was written as part of a whole story. We didn't know if this was intentional or just us hearing what we wanted to, so we wanted to ask, is there a theme within your songwriting?
Well, the really cool part for me when I'm writing is that writing with him specifically is that the compositions are almost an exact juxtaposition to what I'm writing about. So it's always like humorous to me, and humor is my kind of, and I think many people's way of, distracting themselves from certain things. And it humors me to go to dance and have such a good time singing about stuff that is not normal to be happening. Mama, for example, is one of my favorite songs. I literally love playing that song. I can't not dance. I have the best time. I'm in a studio where I should be able to just stay semi-calm and sing it and nail every note, and I'd still just rather miss a couple notes and dance just to get that song. And that song is about kind of being a little demented. One of the lyrics is, Mama, I've got 10 people in my head. Mama, I've got to feed them or they're dead. They're most of the songs are kind of like that. They're the duality of having
It's expensive to feed them.
It's expensive to feed 10 people in my head. No, it's the duality of I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing to talk about, but yeah. No, it's just weird. It's weird to phrase, right? It's weird to put into words to have most of your songs. I think when people see me, for some reason, they immediately think that I'm writing love songs, or there's just a stigma, I suppose, that's always been on me. And most of my songs are or at least the writing portions are completely tangled in metaphor. And I've been working on getting a little more literal just for the sake of connecting to people, or having them connect to it. On mine, it's really hard to untangle it from a metaphor, because it's like the only way I naturally communicate. But yeah, it's most of the songs I end up writing about end up being about what I think is the most natural for everyone. I think the one thing that everyone has in common, without being able to say it the best or in the best way or clinically or just in conversation, is that there are so many versions of ourselves, and not all of them get a stage all at once. And I end up singing about several of those people that we all compartmentalize inside of ourselves, be it in a more, ¿cómo se dice grave?
Grave?
Yeah.
Grave?
In like a bigger way, or a subtle way, or just a lighthearted version. Te robo birra. That means I steal your beer. But yeah, that's where the songwriting kind of comes from, and the new songs have been a particular joy to be writing too, because they're high energy, really, really fun to be a part of, and the lyrics kind of dance or humor. They just give not humor. They just give a good beat to the day-to-day that we are, what I think, and maybe it's not everybody, but for me, my day-to-day is a little tangled in a bunch of different versions of myself, and putting a cool beat to it and dancing a little bit makes it all a hell of a lot better. That's the beauty of the things like TV shows, right? Is that they're amplified versions of one type of person.
Right.
And I don't think anyone in the world is like that. I think more people are pieces of each and bigger pieces of some, but a little bit of everyone. And that's really hard to exist with on a day-to-day basis. And I think that is probably for everyone. I dare I say everyone, the actual hardest thing on a day-to-day basis throughout life is having several different voices, metaphorical or literal, telling you to be a certain way, or that you would want to respond like this, but you're going to say this because that's the right thing to do, but you also thought about the wrong one, and the wrong one didn't seem that bad. You know, things like that. I think those conversations in your head are harder than anything that's happening in the real world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I write about. Lady is about that too. We sang Lady today. So Lady is, if we were to paint a vision of it, right, it's if we were to put a music video to it, in my head this is what it is. If I were to be sprinting around the city and I can catch the glimpse of someone that's kind of watching me and then disappears, and I go sprinting after that person all over the city all the time. I see them at a coffee shop and then they leave, and then I'm sprinting after them again, and then I'm at a show and then they're kind of there, but then they disappear. Not disappear like a ghost, but walk off, and then I'm looking in the parking lot and they're gone too. And then at the end of it, I find them and they're looking at me, and it's also me, but a different version of me. And it's the chorus says, "Lady, you're looking back at me. Sweet like you is what I want to be. Crazy, you're naked in the street. Free like you is what I want to be." It's two different people, both super in love with each other. It's unlike the other songs. This is one of saying, I like all of you, and all of you needs to know that all of you belongs to each other. So if in the video, I know this sounds very weird, I'm trying to verbalize this the right way, but if you could, like, this is a weird scene to imagine, but if you could, like, make out with yourself, right? These two differently dressed personas or whatever, but are you, and you've been following yourself around the entire city all fucking day, and then you find yourself and you realize it's you, and you've been obsessed with this person all day, obsessed to find them, the same way you are when you, like, meet someone you really like. Imagine it being yourself. That's what Lady's about, is that I think all of us have that too. And some of it too is the opportunity that certain sides of yourself get to be, where the other one is the one that, like, makes the most sense all the time. So being sweet is awesome, you know, but a whole lot of you, if not more, might be the one that's, you know, running naked in the street. And the one that's sweet is wishing to be like the free one, and the one that's free is wishing to be like the sweet one. But they're both you. You know, it's kind of, I suppose, finding that compassion, but finding that balance. And like I said, I think more of our fights and more of the problems in the world with everyone are with ourselves first. And most of the songs revolve around that. Lady specifically is completely for the person inward. Yeah.
This song is My Turn by Torino Black.
I didn't mean to tell you I need you now. All the lights are on. Show me your teeth and give me no reason. How did it take so long? 'Cause it's only my turn, turn me around. Red is the color of free. Gummy lovers and moons that'll paint
If you listen carefully to Torino Black's music, you really start to notice how much musicianship the band really carries with it. From synths that are not really meant to be heard, but meant to evoke emotion, to each band member playing their part in tandem with one another, creating pockets, filling space tastefully, and making you move. We have a real love for bands that can create that for us, so we asked, how do you compose your songs?
I loved that there was anger and like there was like a frustration. Like if I were to shake a like, bang on a door, it would be the dun da 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 dun da 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 da. That part, yeah, I liked that there was like frustration inside of it.
I don't know. I mean, that's the best part of being from Spain. I don't understand what she's saying sometimes, you know.
That's
I'm
so
sorry.
sweet.
And I
That's
had to
just a
sing
really
vocals.
sweet
I'm
thing to
like
say.
blah 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 blah. So yeah, and that's one of the
It's
songs that
all real.
you know with UMass I work on Cubase, so I'm in Cubase. Blah 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 blah. And we got a lot of ideas, and boom, that one's something really cool, and she messed with it, and that's really cool. Blah, blah. Boom, and that's the song. So I'm sorry. There's nothing really cool about it.
That song,
Just that
Lady is one of my favorite ones to play because it has parts that really drive, like the intro really drives, and then during the solo it really drives, and then bouncing off the E string. And it's
I'm
just
joking, kind of.
get it as heavy as possible, and then it'll get to the chorus. And I wanted to write something that's like Paul McCartney as possible on the bass, with sliding up and down. It's kind of get that nice Beatles feeling in part of it, and then it's just the really drive, and it's all in the same spot. So that goes with the lyrics pretty well.
And I love that process and usually again we are in the room or you know have free time and I play stuff and she's like, oh, I like that or whatever, and then she sings something and then she writes it, and from there's a song. Maybe just like the verse and chorus, maybe kind of something in the middle, and then from there is becoming a song like that.
I see what you're talking about. I can't, like, if he's working on a song, we can't do it like at the same time because I have to write the lyrics. I can't just make up the melody. It has to go with the words that I'm thinking in my head. I like to do
instrumental music. Like I like to write just music. Like the vocals could be a violin or could be a guitar or could be the moog or whatever. So things like that. And then when we're working on or I'm working on something that it's like, wow, that's cool for what we're doing, you know? And she takes it. And then suddenly went to the next level. Like the last song we did was like something I liked it and she sang honey.
La Nueva.
La Nueva, the new one.
Oh, there's this really exciting new one.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many that one. See, and then we were working on them. We just recorded the vocals, and then she was like, she writes super fast, super fast, and then recorded it, and then we went to the car, and then listened to the car. It's like, dude, it sounds like a real song, like not. I mean, obviously it's a real song, but something that you really like, something you really enjoy. You want to listen again and again and again. And then we still need to finish it, you know, like maybe something instrumental here and there, more ambience, but you know.
Yeah, but it took us a bit to figure that part out too, to figure out that we can't like sit in a room together and kind of dabble with the guitar. Like
no, that's not bueno.
I need to be able to write.
She doesn't
the
like
words.
That. I get so frustrated.
I need to like kind of have a poem with like way in the back of my head hearing like ish thing that he wrote, so that I can kind of guide
I really
words,
like that. I mean, she's
but I can't do it.
An awesome writer, and she does that. She focuses on the writing.
Yeah.
And if it was me, I would be like blah 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 whatever, like blah blah blah, and then I go back and then I write and then I mix them both, something like that.
I just also think it's a bunch of
go
bullshit
first
right
with
now.
the lyrics.
At what point do you bring it to the drummer and the bass player, Cruz?
Once we have the whole song.
Once it's like
that process.
Did you have a feel in mind?
For that new song?
Usually,
once the mics are off, we'll
it's
show
so
it to
easy
you.
to bring. I mean, Cruz
really
and Jared,
pumped
they
about
are
it.
awesome, and they put it together the right way. And what I like to do always is to bring midis, obviously, on drums or whatever. And I like to play bass and move. But then I always think that you should give them the idea and open so they get what they really feel, and they creative. Also,
Freedom.
the
Creative
you know,
freedom.
that maybe the drummer, in this case Cruz, right, is in the band, likes something, and is really good at that. So you don't want to give him something that you think is better, which is not, and then he's gonna be like, what, you know? So yeah,
That's good. Give them
Kind of.
creative out to let them put
Yeah.
their own. As a drummer, you know, that's important.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys spend more time behind those instruments
and I know
than
the
we do.
drummer. I've been
So-
recording forever and writing drums too, but I know the drummer,
Right.
so I don't want to bring that.
I will tell you this, which is extraordinary, is that Saul is a workhorse. He's got his set up his lab at home, and he'll write 4 or 5 songs a week. And he's always writing, always doing songs, and he'll program all the drums, he'll play the bass on it, he'll play guitar on it, he'll sing a melody in it, and then I'm not exaggerating that it's 4 or 5 songs a week that he'll just
Maybe
do.
6.
Yeah.
It's probably not
And then-
exaggerating.
So I don't know how
And
many
probably
songs,
amazing.
Maybe 6.
and that's the part that happens all in his brain.
That like he needs to get it out, and
Right.
it really is 4 or 5 songs, maybe 6 a week, where it just
And he plays them for me. I was like,
Hears
"That's an
in his
awesome
head.
one. That's an awesome one. Can I have that one?" No, okay, it's not. No,
Yeah.
didn't make it through. Okay,
That's
all right.
great.
And
And that's
then-
what it takes to get that diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
it's got to be some shitty ones.
Your songs. not my songs. Talking about.
We're so nice,
I mean, you heard about the Bob Schneider songwriting guild.
right?
At the end is, I'm not special or anything, but it sucks because you get so many that you start with the one that you want to really record because you want to finish it or something from last week, and then you get to something new. And then unless we all get together, I get distracted to new stuff.
So you end up having this like pile of almost songs that are almost awesome.
Appendices from the first one,
Yeah.
different ideas from it.
Yeah.
But,
What I will say is that
I love it.
both
I mean,
parts matter a
I
lot
just
to us.
love that.
The composition and the lyrics were we touched on it earlier,
like
but
trip with music, and that's
yeah,
good.
more than anything, we just, at least on my end, I hope to be authentic and original, and clearly, obviously inspired by other people. But I think the biggest challenge in the music world today, and personal challenge of mine, is to be an original person as much as original musician, and that's important in the writing process, and that's why the lyrics are just as important as the composition.
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to like get stuck in someone's head because it's a cool little ditty, and all the words matter. They just might be strategically placed to where you think it's, an awesome, I don't know, stuck in your head. But the composition is also really complex and really carefully written. I don't know. Those are my opinions. I think any band should back their own sound the way I am right now. So I'm gonna back it, saying we work really hard, and they mean a lot to us.
That's way.
This is D Song by Torino Black.
Oh
Torino Black is comprised of CeCe Berry, Saul Arteta, Jared Blair, and Cruz Crace, who played his heart out for us on the drums but unfortunately couldn't be around to chat with us.
From us here at JackRabbit SoundShack, we want to thank Torino Black for taking the time and sharing their music with us.
You can find their debut EP, Food for a Therapist, on your preferred streaming service and find them online at torinoblack.com, and make sure to keep an ear out for their next record.
Thank you for listening, and don't miss our next episode featuring the cover letter on January 21st.